Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on Twitch, and this is pretty freaking sweet right here. It is Friday, June 18th. Thank you guys for having us. We appreciate it. And it is 10:27 a.m. here in San Diego, California. And joining us today on the live stream, joining us today on In the Fight, I mean, this is unbelievable. The number 6 light heavyweight in the world right now in mixed martial arts, Anthony Lionheart Smith. Anthony, brother, thank you so much for the time, man. Appreciate it more than you would ever know.
Hey, no worries, man. Anytime I can come on and help out a good cause, I'm always about that.
Yeah, man, this is a blast. So, Anthony, cruising a little bit here, got a little bit of momentum going on in that 205 division, coming on, a little 2-fight win streak, a nice little win against Jimmy Crute. I mean, are you kind of feeling the momentum, or are you still just like, is it a one fight at a time kind of focus?
Listen, man, like in this game, you can't get too up or too down. So, although it feels good to be on a 2-fight win streak versus a 2-fight losing streak, I just been in this game for so long. Like you can go up and you can go down, and you win a couple and everyone thinks that you're back to being the greatest in the world. You lose a couple and everyone's telling you that you should retire. So I do a pretty good job of just kind of staying just even keeled, like I'm just trying to continue to get better. I realized that, the UFC backstepped me a little bit and kind of, I think they were gauging where I was at and gauging where some of these up and comers are at. You know, inside, I know exactly where I'm at. I know where I am and I know how good I am and I know what I'm capable of. But sometimes you have to go back and you got to remind people and show them that there's levels to this game. So I'm really excited, man. I'm glad that I got to kind of put the hammer on a couple young up and comers that thought that they were ready. Both guys are great dudes. I've stayed in contact with both of them. I'm gonna train with Devin Clark here in a couple weeks. He's gonna come down. And Jimmy Crute, they're both gonna be really good, man. It's just not right now.
That's a pretty good way to look at. You're talking about like the highs and lows, the ups and downs, and really like the fight game, right? The highest of highs and the lowest of lows in the mental and physical sense. Was that something you learned at one point in your career that you had to overcome or adapt to, or have you kind of known this whole time, like, this is part of like my DNA is I'm good at not getting too high or too low?
No, you got to learn that. That's something that just comes with time, and it comes with getting burnt. You win a couple fights and you think that you're on top of the world and you feel really good, and um, you get so wrapped up into how you feel in that moment, and then you lose or you stub your toe or something, and that crash back down to reality is much worse than it would be if you were just staying kind of level and realizing that there's peaks and valleys to this thing. So I had to learn it the hard way, like most guys do, and even when you're down, when you're down in this game, people will just step all over you. You can't read the comments, and I mean, every once in a while, me and my wife will jump on social media and we'll go through the comments and laugh about it together as a joke. But in all seriousness, if you start to believe that stuff or I don't know, I guess attach it to your identity, it'll ruin you, and you can almost not have the ability to climb back up. So it's all learned the hard way. It's all learned the hard way. Anybody that tells you that they're just like that naturally is lying to you.
So we tend to avoid the negative comments, right? But we did get a comment here from the Twitch live stream. Lionheart, this is from OG Mudnuts. Great handle, by the way.
Name.
I mean, come on. That is outstanding. 10 out of 10. Don, I thought you'd appreciate the rating. Lionheart looks like he would help your granny cross the street, but could also bend me in half like a pretzel.
I probably would help your granny cross the street. That's just kind of us good old boys here in Nebraska. Like, it's not weird to be in Nebraska and see a lady having her groceries loaded into her house or her car by a stranger. It's just kind of how we do it.
And that's why people love you, man. Can I get an update on the Millard Red Legends? How did their season wrap up? Are they still in season? What's the status on the Little League team in Millard?
Yeah, they all kind of transitioned to basketball now, so they're right from one sport into the next. Man, what is such a cool deal, like once I posted that picture of the team, I've never told anybody really that. I mean, obviously locally people know that I help out a lot of sports teams and I go talk to wrestling teams, and I'll just go practice with the wrestling team a lot, like at a couple different schools. So just because it's fun. I don't know why I like doing it. It's a lot of fun. The kids love it. So but I've never told anybody that I do that. So the boys just thought it would be cool to post. They wanted to be on Instagram, essentially. That's what they wanted. So I posted the picture of them on Instagram, and I figured I had to give some context to it so people didn't think I was just posting some random baseball team. Uh, and then I had a couple of companies like reach out, like a baseball bat company that makes really nice baseball bats, sent the entire team all brand new baseball bats, and just cool stuff like that. So I'm glad that I did, because the kids thought it was just the coolest thing in the world that people were sending them free stuff.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that. So I was looking, through the record, right? Your last 10 fights or so, last 15 fights. You've been in the game a while, and I knew you're a fighter who brings excitement, right? Like the fights you're in are exciting. They're action packed, they're fueled. But I believe you have 10 wins in the UFC. And I believe your last 9 are all by either submission or by finish, by KO. Is I mean, it's not a coincidence, but like, how has that kind of been the common denominator across your wins? Like, I mean, does that make you want to go out in your next fight and get another finish or something like that?
Yeah, I went like my first decision that I ever even went to. I never even been to a decision until I fought Brian Green in Bellator, and that was in like 2015 or 2004. I don't know. It was a long time ago, but that was the first decision I'd ever even gone to. I think there for a while I was like the only fighter that had fought in like a major promotion and had over 40 fights or 30 fights and never been to a decision. So I on one hand I guess that's cool. On the other hand, it means that I kind of get myself in fiery spots sometimes. I've never really chased a finish, to be honest with you. I just put my foot on the gas and go. I don't know how to fight conservative if I had to. It's just not who I am, like um the guys down, like the Weidman guys, the guys in New York, and Ray Longo, like he always says, when you're in the octagon, you can't hide who you actually are. So you can kind of look across the board, like you take a guy like James Irvin or Houston Alexander or Forrest Griffin, or like those kind of guys, Rampage and Chuck Liddell, like who you see they are in the octagon is pretty much what you would expect behind the scenes, like in their regular day life. Like there's you can kind of get a good I don't know, a good handle on who they are and what kind of person they are.
Well,
I think I'm very similar. Like I just go, like I just do what feels right in the moment. I just fight off of my instincts, and that's just how it's kind of worked out.
Well, I'm not like a hater by any means on the Reebok or the Venom jerseys, right? But kind of to your point, like that era of guys, the shorts were part of like the identity really. And just like
Right.
they were outside of the cage, you're the same person in the cage, those shorts kind of gave you a good idea. So whatever guy it was, like there was identity in those shorts, which I always thought was pretty cool. So dude, I'm 24 years old, right? I'm trying to make something out of, talking to fighters. I'm a lifelong fight fan, right? I've been trying to get in this my whole life. I knew that this is what I wanted to do, but I'm still learning, right? Like at 24, fighters are still learning and there's so many like growth spurts that they have to hit. What's the question that you get from media that just annoys you the most or bothers you the most, that you're sick of answering, whatever it might be? What's the one you kind of roll your eyes at a little bit inside your head?
Um, there's probably a couple, and they almost always answer the question while they ask it. The
Okay.
first one is, well, I know you probably don't want to give us a game plan, but like, what's your prediction? Like, I'm just trying to win. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like they. Sometimes I think people think that we have like a general idea of what we want to do. Like, if you're a strong grappler and that guy's not, like, obviously that's probably a cleaner path to victory than a lot of other ways. But um, So yeah, I would love to do that, but like, I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Like, anybody that says that they know exactly how this fight, they're lying. Like, we have no idea. That's the fun in it. That's the adrenaline rush. Like, when the door closes and the referee looks at me and says, "Are you ready?" Like, no, I have no idea what's about to happen. Like, it's literally like he lights a bomb in the middle of it, walks away, and then we got to go stand on it and see what happens. Like, that's how it feels. So there's that one, and then it's what's next. Like, I hate when they ask you, who do you want to fight next, before you fought the fight that they're talking about. Like, they always say you don't want to look forward and we don't want you to overlook this guy. Well, like, stop asking about it then, because like, we're having this conversation and now you got me thinking of ahead and I don't want to. So probably those two. And but again, they know that it's a stupid question before they ask. Like, I know you don't want to look past this guy, but let's look past this guy and talk about it. Like, just seems silly to me.
So, because as like a media member, they'll have us call into a radio show, right? And they'll say, "All right, so what's the fight going on tomorrow? Who do you got?" And it's like, I mean, I can give you a prediction, but if we knew what would happen in tomorrow night's fight, then why would we watch? Right? Like, the prediction thing I always find to be a
Right.
little bit weird. It's
Right.
like, what makes MMA or fighting or combat sports in general so fun is that we don't know what's going to happen. If we knew what would happen, we wouldn't be watching. So, Anthony, we got 1 minute and I got one more question for you. If you had to pick one fight for these people, the 4K people in this chat right now that have never seen you fight before, and you want to show them what, Lionheart is, which fight would you want them to go check out?
Honestly, I'll probably surprise you. Probably Glover Teixeira. It's the Glover Teixeira is the worst beating I've ever taken in my entire life, but I think that fight probably encapsulates like who I really am deep down. Like, when the shit hits the fan and everything's going bad, and everyone else can quit, and there is no light at the end of the tunnel, and there's no way to win anymore. I'm the type of guy who will still get up off the stool and I'll still walk out there and finish the fight on my own 2 feet. So I think that encapsulates who I am better than any other fight. But if you want like a fun one that's super exciting that I win, I really enjoy the Gustafsson fight or the Shogun fight. But I guess if you really want to know who I am as a person, I think the Glover Teixeira fight is probably the best one.
That's a badass answer. Anthony, man, that is, 140 on the dot. Thank you so much for the time, brother. I know I appreciate it. I know everyone in the comments here, everyone checking in the live stream appreciates your time. Thank you, brother. I am pumped to see you enter that cage again, because every single time you put on a show, and it's a joy for the fans, man. We appreciate every single performance.
I appreciate you guys. You guys ever need anything else, you let me know.
God bless. Thanks, Anthony. Take care, brother. Woo! That was dope.
You're so dope. You're a killer. You're a killer.